Chivos here, bringing my Hyundai A-League Fixture preview for Week 3 of Season 2015-2016. The first game of the weekend sees my team, Melbourne Victory, take on Newcastle Jets away from home. Melbourne Victory have an almost full-strength squad available for the game since Lee Broxham is back for suspension, although Nicholas Ansell and Archie Thompson are still out injured with no specified return date. Newcastle Jets also have their captain Nigel Bogard back from his 1-week suspension after picking up the 2 yellow cards. Birighitti is out for 1 to 2 weeks after his facial injury he received last weekend after his kick to the face from Shane Smeltz. Newcastle will also be without Hayleti for the game. He's obviously picked up the knee injury, but I do think Birighitti is a much bigger loss. Newcastle are playing at home, and they are playing without Birighitti, which is a huge thing. Obviously, I think they can do it. I think they're capable, but Melbourne Victory, as a squad, are so much better than Newcastle Jets. Melbourne Victory are in form at the moment, and I do think they're going to win this game 2-0. The second game of the weekend sees Wellington Phoenix take on Brisbane Roar at home. Brisbane Roar have obviously started their season exceptionally well, winning their first 2 games, and obviously they're going to want to win their 3rd successive game in a row. Wellington will want to achieve a win at home as well. They want to make it 2 on the bounce, and I can guarantee you there will be many efforts there to make that happen. Obviously, some outstanding performers of their side last week. Let's see if they can bring it to the table again this week. Although Brisbane goalkeeper Michael Theo has been ruled out for the fixture after he's picked up a quad strain. He's out for this week. He should be back next week, although Jamie Young will attempt to fill Theo's shoes and help Brisbane to another 3 points. Durante is still out for Wellington, which is a big loss for them, but obviously they did look good without him last week in their 2-1 win over Perth Glory. I can see Wellington fighting for a win at home, but I can also see John Aloisi's men trying to continue the great start to their season, and I can see this result ending in a 2-1 win for Brisbane Roar. The third game of the weekend sees Sydney FC at home playing against Western Sydney Wanderers in the first Sydney derby of the season. There's a lot of hype around the Sydney derby, and obviously if you look at where they're located in Australia and the footballing culture there, it's obviously it explains itself why this match is so highly anticipated. Although Sydney FC are a bit more developed as a club and as a squad, Western Sydney still have the energy and the fight that they're going to bring to Sydney FC to try and claim the bragging rights. Sydney FC is strengthened. They have the returns of Hull and Holosko, as though Western Sydney Wanderers are only without Shannon Cole for the derby, so it's good signs for Western Sydney. But Sydney FC also welcome 5 players back into their squad, so that could be huge for Sydney as well. Sydney FC have started their season strong, unlike Western Sydney, who see themselves sitting in 9th place with only 1 point, continuing their poor form from last season. Although it's a derby and there's a lot on the line, I can see Sydney FC comfortably winning this game, and the result is going to be a 3-1 win. The fourth game of the weekend sees Melbourne City play against Central Coast at Amy Park in Melbourne. Melbourne City haven't had the best week. Obviously, they lost 3-2 in the Melbourne derby against a Bessa Borussia 90th minute winner. And then midweek, they played against Perth Glory, who they lost to 3-1 in the FFA Cup semi-final. So they lost out on the FFA Cup final chance, and their hopes for winning that silverware are gone. But Melbourne City want to prove a point against Central Coast. They want to prove that the loss against Perth Glory was luck, and that they do have something to bring to this competition. Melbourne City have 6 players returning to their first team squad, but they're without Franich, Corin, Zolo, and they're big losses there in Ivan Franich and Robert Corin. Central Coast are without Reddy due to a suspension from the club. Something going on with him and the coach. I'm not sure what's exactly happening, but another suspension. It's becoming a problem for Reddy. I think eventually he's just going to leave. I think that's going to have to be the only option. I think Melbourne City are going to bounce back from their disastrous week, while Central Coast want to add a few more points to their tally. I can see this being a hard fought game, but I can see Melbourne City coming out the victors in a 1-0 win. And the final game of the weekend sees Perth Glory take on Adelaide United at NRB Stadium in Perth. It will also be their third game of the week, like Melbourne City. Obviously, Perth Glory lost to Wellington Phoenix last weekend 2-1 and had a sending off for Garcia, obviously. But Perth Glory did play midweek in the FFA Cup semi-final against Melbourne City, and they did beat them 3-1, so that sees them go into the FFA Cup final, which obviously is going to be their priority because silverware is huge. Adelaide United will want to improve on last week's result and try and secure themselves a spot near the top of the table. You know, normally they're up there. They deserve to be up there. They have a good squad, and hopefully they can get a win against Perth, so they can be up where they really deserve to be. Glory have no outs. They should be able to field a full-strength squad after their midweek fixture. You know, there will be some tired legs, but I do think, you know, Glory have the upper hand because they have a better squad depth at the moment. Obviously, Adelaide United are still out. They still have Galikovic out, their captain, their goalkeeper. He's still out. Another 3 to 4 weeks for him. And LaRocca is also out. They do welcome the return of striker Bruce Gite. He adds a lot to their forward line, and hopefully he can add something to the front, and hopefully he can score a couple of goals. But I do think Perth Glory's confidence from their win midweek is going to carry on into the fixture. I do think it's going to help them out a lot, but I don't think they're going to be able to overcome the strong squad of Adelaide United. Although, you know, both sides have a point to prove, I do think they're going to attempt to prove a bit too much. I do think this is going to end up in a 1-1 draw. But they are my predictions for this weekend's fixtures. What are your predictions? Let me know in the comments section below. I like to hear what you guys have to say about the fixtures. Like, who do you think is going to win the Sydney Derby? Obviously, that is the talking point of this weekend. But my name has been Chivos. Leave a like if you've enjoyed the video. Subscribe to the channel if you're new around here. And I'll catch you guys on another Hyundai A-League video.